to Monday Night Raw recaps review. Well, that's not a perfect time. I don't know what is.
I tell her every time, do not reply.
This is why do you even? But you realize saying that is just gonna make her reply more to piss you off, right? Anyway, guys, sorry about that. I'm Telfari. I'm
CK.
Thank you.
I'm Knight Rider.
And we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw last night, as well as WrestleMania coming up this weekend. Before we get started, though, I want to mention again, we will not be going over Friday Night SmackDown this Saturday because we'll be watching, let's see, we're going to have 2 to 3 hours of Stand and Deliver.
We got Stand and Deliver because that's another thing we're going to get to. We'll also refresh it a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll say it at the end.
After Stand and Deliver.
There's a 3-hour WrestleMania pre-show, then 4 hours of WrestleMania, and then another 2 hours of the post-show because we have to talk about the show for longer than the show actually runs. Anyway.
But after this stream starting Friday, well, not starting Friday, we will not be on Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be combined into Monday morning.
Yes. Well,
or 3 o'clock like we normally do.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll start doing a Friday show
covering
NXT
and
TNA, and then Monday's show will jump to Evolve. No.
Thursday.
Saturday's show.
Yes, we'll be Evolved and SmackDown.
Evolved and SmackDown. So we'll have every WWE program except LFG in there, which we'll probably try to start covering that next season, because we already know they're doing a season 2.
Yep.
Because, again, I can tell you all what it is here real quick. I found a much better app for voice.
Yeah.
It's Sound Type AI.
Mm-hmm.
So much better. I don't have any sponsorship with them. Nothing. But they have made night and day difference instead of Google trying to translate talking.
Yeah.
This has been night and day. I'm actually done like 1 o'clock or done the night before because I don't get tired of trying to deal with the drama.
Yeah. But let's get this off. We start off with a Gunther and Jay recap because we have the attention span of goldfish and we didn't watch last week, I guess. But anyway, Gunther starts the show, and Michael Cole was supposed to have an interview with him later on in the night, but he said, "Fuck it, I'm coming out now."
And he kind of asked him, he goes, Jay came out here last week, and said
he's not afraid of you, and he's like, "Jay's full of crap."
Yeah, and then he gets into this whole big...
He says, "Ever since I stepped foot in this company, I've been the greatest gift this company has ever received." That's not right. You said 3%. It's 80% of my time in this company. I have been a champion. And right now, I am the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. And I refuse to let somebody like Jey Uso ruin that for me. Yeet as much as you want. I don't care. Jay, I urge you to put your chest out on your way into WrestleMania with more confidence than you've ever had before, because it won't matter. At the end of the day, that bell has to ring, and when that happens, you still can't lace my boots, and I will put you down for 4 consecutive times. For the last 2 weeks, I've been accused. The last 2 weeks, I've been told, you went too far with Jimmy. You lost control. Jay, trust me, one thing, in my 37 years of life, I have never lost control. And 2 weeks ago, when I took a bath in your brother's blood, I was in full control, and I loved it. And Jay, I want you to pray to the Lord. Thank him that I was in control 2 weeks ago. Because if I wouldn't have been, I would have drowned you both in Jimmy's blood. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to next week. Calling my mother and telling her how much I enjoyed it. To beat the living hell out of Jey Uso and walk out of WrestleMania still the World Heavyweight Champion.
and then we get another recap.
Yeah. So for the first 30 minutes, we start off with a recap, and then we have a Gunther promo, and then guess what? We get another recap! Yay! But they're recapping the gauntlet match of last. It wasn't even really a recap. They're like, oh yeah, the final match was Bayley and Lyra versus the Secret Harvest. They beat the Secret Harvest, and then they.
Well, it's because Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
Actually, Liv and Raquel came down to the ring. Then we had commercial promos, and then we get to the match. So we'll go over the promos first.
Yeah.
But Bianca gets her promo first, and she's like, I've been the first to admit that lately, I've been in my head. Everything that's happened with Jade and Naomi, it really messed me up. And now the whole situation with Io and Rhea has brought out a different version of me. But different isn't wrong. My road to WrestleMania has been filled with nothing but blood, sweat, and tears. No, not complaining. No whining. No excuses. No, just straight facts. I've been nothing but standing up for myself and speaking the truth. It's something I think everybody can do. Something that I hope people are teaching their kids today. And you don't have to like the truth, but you can't deny it. Just like I can't deny that now it's a triple threat. Yeah, I've been through a lot, but I'm still the best. And I'm going to use everything I've been through to be the Bianca that I know I can be. I'm the Bianca that won the Elimination Chamber. I'm the Bianca that's never been defeated at WrestleMania. I'm the strongest, the fastest, the roughest, the toughest, the quickest, the greatest, the best Bianca that I've ever been. So it doesn't matter if it's a triple threat, because there's nothing that Rhea or Io can do to stop me from getting my flowers and walking out of WrestleMania as champion. Because you can't spell WrestleMania without E-S-T.
Exactly.
Which is true.
That is indeed a fact. So she can spell at least. I'll give her that much.
But then we get to the Liv and Bayley match, and Raquel and Lyra are at ringside, are not sitting, but in their corners. And it was a pretty good match. For the start of the show, it was a pretty good match. Yeah. Or the first match, I guess.
Yeah, because, we're 45 minutes in and getting our first match of the night.
Although, actually, if I remember right, it was pretty quick. Like, that Gunther match.
Yeah, it wasn't too long, but still, it was
probably about a half hour.
Yeah.
We already had two recaps and
two recaps and two promos, and then we get our first match of the night. I find it funny going into WrestleMania. But anyway, it was a pretty good match. Bayley tries to go for a suicide dive outside of the ring, but she gets hit with an uppercut. Liv goes for the Three Amigos outside of the ring, gets off two, but Bayley counters and throws her under the steps. Bayley tries to kick her while she was
across the steps. Yeah. She moved. Bayley hit her knee.
Then
kind of never really it comes back into play, but doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we all know it's a story. When they're hurt, they're not actually hurt, because if they are actually hurt, the match is done. Unless you're fucking JD McDonough and you're just powering through with broken ribs. I mean, just anyway.
Exactly.
You want to talk about flowers? I still got to give my flowers,
man.
Man.
Like I said, when he comes back, I want a title around his waist immediately.
Exactly.
Heel or face, that dude just earned utmost respect.
Yep.
Anyway,
exactly.
Then Liv grabs Bayley. She suplexes her off of the steps. Bayley tries to go for the sunset flip buckle bomb. Liv moves out of the way. Bayley hits the turnbuckle. Tries to pin Bayley. Bayley...
Liv.
Oh, okay. There was a period that confused me. She tries to pin Bayley, and she kicks out, and then Liv just starts smacking her mouth like, just.
And then Bayley smacks her back in the. And everybody's talking about how it was two kids fighting.
Yeah. You just went through a turn. It's fine. I don't care that much. They're having fun with it. People liked it. It's fine. Liv gets on the turnbuckles, but she gets caught by Bayley. Bayley tries for Boston Crab and fails. Bayley finally gets the sunset flip buckle bomb, but doesn't get the 3 count. There's lots of good back and forth, trying for pinfalls. Bayley gets a Bayley to belly, pins Liv near the ropes. Raquel pulls her foot up on the rope.
Okay, on that note, and I noticed it yesterday when we were watching it, and there was footage of it, but I could not find where the footage was, where they were like bringing it from. She was too far away. Her foot was never on the rope. She was holding her foot up, okay, and was like barely
Just the tippy toe.
Yeah. But if you look, Raquel, when she grabbed it and she did this whole like swing thing to put her leg up there, her leg actually falls back down. As the ref is 1, 2, 3, and he hits 3 and then looks, and her toe is just like, and you can barely, her toe is like touching the rope. Not on the rope. It is like touching the rope.
I get it. Counts. It counts.
It shouldn't have counted, is what everybody's saying. I mean, we're talking. Like, if you look at an angle, maybe it was touching, but.
Hey, it's touching the rope. It counts.
So, there's a lot of talk about that being because
Exactly.
she was too far away when she fell, blah, 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 whatever. It's just one of those little funny moments.
Yeah, it's
not perfect.
It doesn't matter.
This is a song and dance.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you don't hit all the numbers right. But you know what? This show goes on. But Lyra runs up and hits Raquel from behind. They start fighting outside the ring. Raquel jumps up on the apron. Bayley hits Raquel. Falls into the ring. Then Liv hits Bayley with a backstabber. Liv goes for Oblivion, but Lyra held Bayley in place.
That was beautiful. And the reason, and I said it last night, before we go any further, I love the fact that even the faces were like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to cheat.
Yeah. Y'all already doing it. Why won't we? You know, that's what Cross is saying about AJ. I know we're different scenario, but if your opponent's going to cheat, it's fair game at that point.
Yup. And it
Honor,
was nice
chivalry, all that bullshit doesn't mean a damn thing.
And, I mean, Lyra just grabbed her waist and kind of, like, pushed into her so she didn't get hit by the Oblivion as hard. I mean, it was, absolutely gorgeous.
If they aren't playing by the rules, neither are we. But Bayley wins with a jackknife cover. And then, you know, they walk out, hands held high, but like we've always said. But then again, this was a match. Because I know you always say, you know, if they have a fight, whoever wins the fight is going to lose at the pay-per-view or whatever.
Yeah. And they kind of, everybody just kind of walked away. Like, they were celebrating with the crowd, and Liv and Raquel were Raquel was kind of more worried about Liv in the ring. Because Liv was just glaring, though. She had eyes that were just...
Oh, yeah. Because guess what? Your little bullshittery, now they're doing it, too. How's it feel? Probably not very good.
What is it? Karma's a bitch?
Yeah. The shoe's on the other foot now, or something like that. I don't know. I'm not
anyway.
Then we get the third recap of the night with Seth, Roman and Punk. Because once again, we have the memory of a goldfish we didn't watch last week, so we have to be reminded every 5 minutes. Then we get a Rhea promo, and she says, "Bianca, I can see right through you. You said you were just out there to watch, and then you said you were just out there to call it down the middle. But I can see your true intentions now. You thrive on playing with my emotions, winding me up like I'm some sort of toy to you, just so you can get what you want and make me seem like I'm the bad guy. The thing that you fail to understand is that when I lose something that I love, I will stop at nothing to get it back." And EO, I never had to give you a championship match. But watching you pout and moan, it really pulled on the heartstrings that I had left. So I used a page out of your book, and I got what I wanted. So, EO, I advise you to cherish every single moment you have with the Women's World Championship.
Turn
and
off
Bianca,
speaker.
I can't wait to make you feel what it's like when I'm the bad guy. Because at WrestleMania 41, I get back what belongs to me.
Hold on one sec. Hey Google, turn off speakers.
Oh yeah, we did turn those on.
Alright, turning off speakers.
Otherwise, it's gonna.
Fuzz.
When we
Sorry
start-
if y'all are hearing that. I forgot. Anyway, that's it. That's her promo.
And then we get
The fourth recap of the night. Woo! Are these your favorite?
the El Grande recap.
Yeah, the match from last week where he used the steel plate in his mask to... Once again, this is the same dilemma as nunchucks. Guess what? When you put a piece of metal on your forehead and you hit somebody with your forehead, you're also getting hit by the metal plate. That's why brass knuckles are terrible. Anyway...
And then we get the Rey Mysterio Julius Creed match, was actually really good.
Yeah,
I
it was
was actually really impressed because I mean Rey have to understand, and I know you watched Rey recently, and I know Knight Rider over here has been a fan of Rey Mysterio for probably years,
Yeah.
probably double digits.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Mysterio, there's a reason they call him the biggest little man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that dude, even taking down somebody like Julius,
Yeah. I mean, I remember when he
Yep.
when he fought Ryback.
I mean, the dude is this small and can take on guys this big.
Yeah. He doesn't
Yep.
care.
I mean, and
I
make
mean-
it a good match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, you believe that he's winning. Not because he's bigger or stronger.
And I mean, there was a lot of times that Julius was just manhandling him.
Yeah, I mean, catching him out of midair, but, you know, we start off with Ray versus Julius, American Made and LWO at ringside. This is Julius's first single match on Raw. Brutus jumps up in the apron, is distracting ref, and Chad grabs Ray's leg and he loses his balance. Julius tries to take advantage, but Dragon Lee pushes Julius off the ropes. American Made and LWO both jump up in the apron, and they all get thrown out of ringside. Who was this? Was this?
The ref.
I know. Pat. No, not Pat. The
Michael
white-haired ref. Like the older.
Charles Robinson?
Yes, that's it. Charles Robinson. Was that him or was it a different ref?
I think it was a different ref.
Well, whatever ref it was. Thank you for doing your fucking job. Anyway.
But yeah, and like I said, the match, like I said before, the match was absolutely perfect until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yep,
It was a
exactly.
phenomenal match. Like I said, there were at least 2 or 3 times Ray gets up on the ropes, he jumps down, and
Julius
just catches him out of midair, slams him on the ground, goes for the pinfall, and you think he's got it won, but Ray kicks out. You know, you have plenty of Ray's
Yep.
high flying.
Exactly.
Hits him with the 619. But eventually, El Grande Americano shows up, jumps up on the
wait a
apron.
minute, hold on. Let's see. Chad Gable get kicked from ringside. And then El Grande Americano shows up. And Pat is still like, they're 2 different people. Like, are you really that dumb? Like,
He is for story.
and even Michael is like, it's obvious.
Yep.
But he jumps up on the apron.
Very much so.
Ray tries to pull off the mask. Julius tries to take advantage, rolling Ray up, only to get a 2 count. Ray counters, gets Julius into 619 position. He hits him with a 619. Ray wins the match. Then Americano jumps in the ring and attacks Ray, like I said, using that loaded up forehead, which is the silliest phrase I've ever heard just anywhere. He loads up that forehead. But he hits him with the steel plate in his mask. LWO shows up, headbutting, and he's just headbutting everybody. Doing flying headbutts, sleeping headbutts, the whole boom, boom, knocking them all out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's standing tall by the end of it, so...
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Ray's gonna win that.
Oh, 1,000%, yeah. If he doesn't... Here's the thing, though.
I don't think the only reason I don't think he's gonna win is because they're gonna carry the story on a little bit longer.
Maybe. Well, here's the thing. He can win and still not get the mask off. You know?
I think that's how it needs to end. It needs to be a match versus match,
Or mask versus mask.
match. And El Grande think he just has it in the bag, and
Gets his ass whooped.
Yeah.
But after that, we go into the War Raiders promo. I say, Xavier, Kofi, you run your mouths about how the New Day is the greatest tag team of all time. But the fact of the matter is, the War Raiders have blazed a path of world domination for more than a decade. We've won gold on multiple continents. And last week, we had you beat dead to rights. You took the coward's way out. You knew you couldn't beat us. You say this is about these titles, but it's about more than these championships now. Last week, you took this to a whole new level. Because you didn't come for these titles. You came for my neck. You tried to put me on the shelf. End my career. So at WrestleMania, this isn't going to be a match. Hell, this isn't even going to be a fight. This is war. I can't do it as good as they do, but you get the point.
Well, when there's both of them doing it,
Yeah.
so I'd have to do it with you, and I wasn't on track.
Are you ever on track?
No.
I don't think so.
Nope, he's always $1 short and a day behind.
Something like that.
Anyway, and then we get to the Boo Day backstage talking to Jackie, and she's like, "Excuse me, guys, Xavier, Kofi, we just heard from the War Raiders."
And Xavier's like, we have WWE in Clash of Clans, and you're going to interrupt this? Jackie, your lack of etiquette is simply audacious.
Jackie's like, "Listen, generally, I'm sorry, but we heard from the War Raiders earlier, and they said that you guys took things to a whole new level last week. And they're saying that the match at WrestleMania is less than a week away, is war."
And Xavier comes back and he's like, we've been in war. You see how these people treat us? You see how all the people in the locker room have been treating us this entire time? It's been war the whole time. We've been in war the entire time, Jackie. But the warpath stops at WrestleMania when we take back what belongs to us. That's our WWE World Tag Team Championships. And we remind the entire world that your boys, the New Day, are the greatest tag team on the face of planet Earth. Because Jackie, last week was just a taste of what the New Day is willing to do to get our titles back. And after WrestleMania, Eric's going to wish that we would have taken his head off, so him and Ivar wouldn't have to catch the beating they're going to get this Saturday. And when we regain our tag team championships at WrestleMania, every irrelevant and immature of the WWE Universe will have no choice but to drop to their knees, raise their hands to the sky, and scream in unison, "Thank God for the New Day!"
No.
I don't see anybody doing that.
No.
Nope.
Then we
Sorry.
get to AJ versus Cross, which is a third match of the night, right?
Yeah, third. But you know what? This match might not have been the greatest match on the card, but I think it was the most important match on the card.
Oh, absolutely.
Because AJ was not, or Cross was not in this to win.
No. He was in here to draw something out of AJ, to prove a point.
And what you noticed, everybody is talking about.
Yeah. But we'll get to that. They announced that Cross is Rain Pants, made by the same guy who makes AJ's pants. Scarlet, in the middle of the fight, Cross distracts the referee. Scarlet jumps up and is like dragging AJ's face across the apron. And like we said, this is all about Cross trying to make a point to bring out the other AJ. Cross fakes an injury to his ankle, again trying to prove a point, because he sits up, punches AJ in the mouth, and then starts dancing in the ring.
That was funny. He's like...
Yeah, he's like... which only pisses AJ off more. And, he wins with a phenomenal forearm, but... Speaking of, where is it? We have it somewhere. Hang on. We have like a billion different things.
I don't think I posted.
You did.
Did I?
Yeah. Right here. Karrion Kross puts his hand behind his back before the forearm. He sacrifices himself to bring out the evil way in AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
This just proves the point. And you noticed it. I kind of missed it.
Yeah.
I think even Knight Rider missed it.
But yeah, he literally stands there and he lets himself get hit by that phenomenal forearm so that AJ can win the match.
Mm-hmm. The martyr.
Yeah.
to try to bring out the evil that is within AJ.
Yep. But then, after the match, Logan comes out here, and he says, "Hey, whoa, what's up with all the hostility? Sacramento, chill. I came out here to tell my man congratulations. Seriously, AJ, no. Go in, brother. Congratulations. You did it in front of Sacramento. A bunch of people who weren't cool enough to live in Los Angeles and weren't smart enough to live in San Francisco. You, my friend, just showed these generic California losers why you versus WrestleMania is going to be the best. You're going to cook.
Yeah.
But hey, AJ, now why don't we show them why our match is going to make money? Here's what you're up against. Please, enjoy this piece of cinema." And then he pulls up some god-awful
video. It's like, "I am one of one. I have accomplished more in one weekend than all you will your entire lives. I didn't just join the WWE to take part. I joined to take over. Let me remind you that I am a purveyor of viral media, your son's favorite superstar, your girlfriend's celebrity crush, hyper-internet entrepreneur, innovator, actor, wrestler, boxer, the most viral athlete in this company. You're mad at me because you want to be me. Keep clicking on the keyboards, and I'll keep being on the billboards." Let me get to this for a second. This is me being funny. I have one problem with this, and you lied to me.
Huh.
Logan Paul just called you out. It says your son's favorite superstar. What's up, Tafari? You've been lying to me.
Yeah, sure.
Enough
Like I've said, I don't think anyone with half a function... Actually, I can't even say that. Because there are full-grown
Adult
men and women, adults, who have... I don't understand it. I don't understand how people...
I wouldn't spend money on him.
These are the people who shouldn't be allowed to reproduce.
Exactly.
Anyway, AJ comes back. It's like, "That's a cute little video, smartass. But why don't we start WrestleMania a couple of days early and bring your ass to this ring right now?" Logan, he throws away the mic. He gets up into the ring, and Cross goes up, tries for a sneak attack, and Smiles tries to take out Paul, and then the number game catches up. But AJ impaler DDT by Styles to Cross, and he's up in his face, like, as Cross is rolling on the ground, he's talking shit. But then Logan comes up, hits him with that titanium right hand, and then the pulverizer, I think is what he calls it.
The pulverizer, yeah.
Because of course. And then he gets out of the ring and he's dancing around like a little. And the sad thing is, he really thinks he looks like the coolest son of a bitch on planet Earth. It's pathetic. Anyway.
I know Logan Paul will never see this, but nobody believes you are. My girlfriend didn't like you. My son doesn't like you, so you're already 2 for 2.
Look,
Nobody cares about you.
I know.
So,
it was yesterday on LG that
if
they
you drop
said,
off the face of the earth,
if the
nobody will
higher-ups
care.
come and tell you to work with somebody, you work with them, I'll work with them. I'll be going to prison as soon as our match is over, but that's beside the point.
If you don't watch LG, we're going to talk about LG a little bit later.
Yeah.
But, just for like a quick moment. But, I see more of Tafari. We want you to team with Logan Paul. Will be the BJ and Cutler match.
Sure. Sure. Go ahead. Well, wait, I can do that.
That's how that match will end.
No.
It'll just end with you master.
And it'll end with me in prison. Anyway. Then we go. Jay comes out to the ring through the crowd. He gets up on the announcement table.
And you gotta understand, this took time. Like, the crowd is eating. He's not eating, which everybody's talking about. Mm-hmm. He's dressed all in black. He's not wearing his colors. He's not eating with the crowd. But he's like, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Run it back. So, he's still encouraging them, but he's not doing it.
Yeah. He's very somber and serious. But he says, I said what I had to say to Gunther last week, but I really want to come out here and holler at y'all. Yeah, my peoples. What's up, Sacramento? Yes, Sackatown. It's not perfect, but it's still better. What's up, Sacramento? My mama out here somewhere in the crowd. She out here somewhere in the crowd. Well, look, Oos. Everybody keeps on asking me, Oos, Jay, where your mind at? Am I crashing out? Hell yeah, I'm crashing out. But I'm locked in. Locked in for me. Locked in for my family. I'm locked in for y'all. Check it out, though. Listen to Gunther out here talking. You know what that made me feel like? He mad. Nah. You afraid. Yeah, Gunther. You afraid? You afraid I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of 60,000 people for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania? Hey, look, though. I'm gonna see you on Saturday, Oos. Gunther. I'm gonna get you, cuz. So here's what we're gonna do. One time for the one time. Hey, Oos. Please hit my music. Oh, yeah. Oh. Woohoo! Hey, I'm not Jey Uso, but I can try to be, okay?
And then, you know what? This is one, I didn't mind this review. Or this...
This one was okay.
Because
Simply
I watched that 1,000 times.
But this is a review of Penta versus Dom last week. And the match I couldn't care less about. But, oh my god!
We talked about it last week. If you didn't watch the stuff from last week, I didn't pull it up. We can pull it up again.
The spear that man... Oh my god.
But it does come back to play later on.
It does, and it's beautiful. But, we're backstage. Kathy Kelly says, I'm here now with the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. Braun, this Sunday at WrestleMania, the odds are stacked against you as you put the title on the line against 3 other men. So how are you handling and navigating and going into what some are calling the biggest title defense of your career?
Then Braun says, yeah, Kathy, I mean, this is obvious. The biggest title defense of my career, a 3-on-1, a shot for the championship.
And before he can finish his words, the three amigos, the 3 douchebags, Finn, Dom, and Carlito bum rush him, attack him
by his name.
But they come in, they attack him, they start beating him up all over the backstage, slamming him into shit, until eventually Nick Aldis comes out and does his job.
Nick Aldis, you mean Adam Pearce?
I'm used to Nick being the one doing his job and Adam not doing it. Leave me alone. Adam comes out, does his job. I'll give him some credit. It only took him like 10, 15 seconds to get there. So, you know what? At least he was actually the one down there this time rather than random-ass security guards and people in suits.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, the reason, if you want to get us back to our faces.
Oh.
At least on our screen.
Yeah, I think we might have been on
that screen the whole time?
Probably. We're professionals, everybody. Sorry about that.
Anyway. Oops. Anyway.
But, yeah, Penta versus Finn.
The reason I'm going to say something, if you don't watch our previous stuff, Tafari over here never calls Carlito.
No, he's Apple Boy. That's it. Anyway, by far... I'm not going to say by far, actually, because all the matches...
All the matches were good, but I do think it was the best match.
It was definitely the best match of the match. Best match of the night.
And not by much. We're talking like...
Yeah, because the Ray, like I said, all the matches...
Yeah, they was...
Good. And like I
said,
all
close.
These matches we've been getting the last 2-3 weeks have been great. I really do think the only reason we had that 2-3 weeks of...
But again, I want to bring this up, and I'm going to be really happy, because we'll bring it up now just because I'm talking about it. I'm going to be really happy to bring NXT up, because again, you guys have to understand that as good as these matches are...
The matches on NXT are just as good, if not better.
Yeah, are just as good, if not better, and they're consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're consistent.
I haven't seen a single bad match on NXT.
They've been okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they're all been phenomenal, but I haven't seen a single bad match.
Where in some of the ones we've had over the past, say, month or so in the main roster have been like,
Okay, really? Let's
like
just throw that away.
The Jimmy versus Miz match.
Yeah.
That was just a throwaway.
Yeah. But anyway,
There ain't one.
you know, lots of high flying back and forth. We don't really have many to actually go over because it was a great match, but we're not gonna sit here and go over every single move. But Penta gets sacrificed on Finn, and then Carlito and
I
Dominic.
kept that because it's just that's how I think of him. But
Dominic shows up on the apron. They try to get Finn words are hard. It's all jumbled up. They try to help Finn out. Finn hits Penta, but he only gets a 2 count. And then Breaker comes out. Finn points at Breaker as Carlito is once again standing in the drop zone of a super spear. And Carlito, he crawls into the ring, sprints to the other side. I'm going to say this. Carlito might have been running faster than Breaker was. Because he sprints to the side, gets out of the ring.
And you didn't see this on camera, and I'm sure there's a camera angle that showed it, but Cole said he literally leaped across the announce table and hit him. He thinks he might have broke his leg. He was leaping so hard.
Breaker he gets into the ring and he just starts beating the hell out of Finn, which obviously calls for disqualification. Dominic attacks Breaker. Carlito then comes in and starts attacking Breaker. But he powers through both of them. I'm pretty sure he hits Carlito with a spear again.
No, he double.
Oh,
spear.
right, he doubles. Yes, he hits Dominic with a spear and Carlito with a spear at the same time.
But it wasn't near as powerful as.
No, but still, I mean, fuck.
I don't want to get hit by.
Exactly, I wouldn't want to hit by any kind of spear from Braun Breaker. Roman Reigns could spear me 100 times over, and I don't think it would equal 1 spear from Braun Breaker.
Again, we can even pull it up after all this. But again, that spear last week
was
I don't know. Like I said, if you didn't watch it last week, go back and watch our stuff from last week, or we'll show it here in a few minutes. Try to find it on Discord. But that was not sped up, nothing. This guy literally looked like he was running full blast, 1,000 miles an hour, down that ramp, boom, right into Carlito, man.
And does a front flip, just because he can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was... So, yeah, Carlito running across the ring, you're like, no, motherfucker, I'm out.
I ain't doing that again. But yeah, Breaker tries to spear Penta, but Penta counters. Breaker rolls out of the ring. Penta runs up the ropes and jumps, take out Carlito, Dom, and Breaker. And Finn is just kind of standing back on the ramp, just looking like a goofball.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, because you even said, well, where's the hell Finn at?
And he's just standing up on the apron.
Watching everything.
Yeah.
Because, I'm going to tell you, again, just in case you don't all know, Finn's a little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm going to laugh my ass off when Dominic gets the title.
Yep.
That's what
all the talk is right now.
I think that would be the best for the story. I don't know if it's the best, what I think is going to happen.
I hope it does. It'd be beautiful.
Because I think they're going to put it on Penta or keep it on... I don't think Finn's getting it.
No, absolutely not. Finn is not getting it, but I want Dom to get it. It'd be so funny.
And I'd love for Judgment Day to interfere and cost Finn the match somehow and Dom take it.
Because it is a fatal 4-way, so pretty sure there's no DQ, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with a triple threat, so... Technically, Carlito, Liv, and Raquel could just jump in there with steel chairs and beat the hell out of all of them. I don't think it's going to happen, but technically they could.
But then we get to the EO promo, and this I 100% want to just break down and dissect, because this is 100% true. Like the other two are just, again, what EO says in here.
They're ignoring her.
They're ignoring her.
But
they never mention EO. I mean, they do, but it's in
passing.
Yeah. Like, EO, I gave you a title shot. You didn't deserve it. Blah blah blah. Yeah. But EO is like, I'm done. Yeah. I quit. But she goes, this message is for Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. You keep forgetting that I am the women's world champion. You push me out of the way with your petty fights like I mean nothing. I'm the whole reason you're fighting in the first place. Because I have the one thing you both want. the Women's World Championship. So I'm done being ignored. I'm done being forgotten. Because you have to go through me to get this title. And I'm not afraid to take you both on and defend it. I've been both of you. I've beaten both of you. And I will beat you again. At WrestleMania, you will never forget the name Io Sky.
Exactly.
But like I said, she doesn't say, I'm...
Yeah.
She doesn't pick any of them out. She's like, no, screw you both.
Yeah, because, I mean, like we said...
And I'm gonna use Knight Rider here as an example, but how many times have they been back and forth and they've been like...
Yeah.
Exactly.
They literally push her to the side.
And they'll be in the middle of a fight and be like...
Yeah, like she's just some annoying little fly. And like I said, unfortunately, what I see happening in WrestleMania, not what I want to happen, but what I see happening, is she, you know, I can literally see the match starting off with them both getting up in each other's faces and literally pushing her to the side again like they have before. And then, you know, she comes in, she kicks both of them, they start fighting. But at some point, Io gets tossed out of the ring. They beat each other up, and then Io comes in and steals the victory.
But again, I agree 100% with you, though.
That's not what I want to happen.
Not what I want to happen. I need Io to be this Io.
Mm-hmm. I need her to come in there, and I need her to drop kick both of them in the jaw. I know it's completely unnecessary. I know it wouldn't make sense for the sake of the story. I need Io Sky to pin both of them and retain this championship. I don't care how it happens. I don't care if they're in the middle of the ring. She drops kick both of them in the face and then like, fuck it, and pins both of them. That's what I need to happen.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is too, not only there are some matches that I just need a win.
Mm-hmm.
This one, Io needs to be dominant.
Yeah.
Io has to be dominant in this.
But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't even know if she retains.
I hope she retains.
Me too.
I do too.
And it's not... don't get me wrong. I love Rhea Ripley. I even like this whole like character thing she's doing. I like her heel. I like her face. You know, even when she was in Judgment Day, I still liked her. How many times I say, I like her, don't like Judgment Day, but I like Rhea Ripley. Mm-hmm. Same concept. Don't like necessarily the things she's doing, but as a wrestler, same thing with Gunther.
Yeah.
As a wrestler, I mean, completely different ball games. But still, as a wrestler, she is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will always respect her for that. But we are almost done with the show.
Yeah.
In 43 minutes. Oh. Anyway. But there was a whole thing earlier in the night, and I didn't get it, because it was really just him walking around. They were like, he's waiting for Roman Reigns. So I'm like, I'm not going to put that in the thing. I think it was at the very beginning.
Yeah, which when I noticed he had a spray tan on.
Yeah. But and I even told him, they're like, excuse me, because Tapari is like, oh, that means we're going to get Roman Reigns tonight.
Yeah, at the very
end. I was like, yeah, you know he ain't going to show up till the end. They're going to broadcast it for the beginning of the show, and he's going to show up till the end. And when they got to the, what did we say? The
recap?
The Penta and Finn match, I was like, yep, this is our main event.
Yep.
Our main event match.
Waste of fucking time.
Exactly.
But anyway, we get Paul backstage, and he's just kind of sitting there, kind of waiting for Roman to show up. And Punk shows up, and he's like, I've never seen you so stressed. I'm going to calm you down. Who do you see?
And Paul looks up and is like, the cult of personality?
And Punk's like, no. A real friend who isn't going to do anything to put you in harm's way. And then Roman's car pulls up. Or actually, you don't know it's Roman's car. You see a car pull up. Roman gets out. And he just glares at Punk and Heyman like talking. Mm-hmm. And Punk, and I don't know if you noticed it, but Punk has got a big shit-eating grin on his face. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, see, I'm talking to him. This is my wise man, my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
you know, type look.
Yeah.
And Paul instantly gets up and starts running to Roman, repeating, my tribal chief, and Roman just like beelining
Yep.
to the ring.
Exactly.
Yep.
Not even acknowledging Paul at all.
Yep.
Nothing. And Paul, like, my tribal chief, my tribal chief, my tribal chief, my tribal chief.
Yep. And he gets in the ring and he tries to, and we go to a commercial because of course we do.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back, Paul tries to hand Roman a mic, and Roman literally like shoulder checks him out of the way, grabs a different mic, and he says, "Sacramento, acknowledge me." The whole world can feel that. The whole world can hear that you love and acknowledge your tribal chief. And now the whole world understands that you would never betray your tribal chief. But not everybody's like you. Some people would betray me. Sacramento, you got any guesses on who that might be?
And he looks at Paul.
Wise man. Oh, I lost my place. Hang on.
Wise man, how could you betray me? The crowd chants, you fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Yeah, but he's like, Sacramento, I don't think the wise man can hear you. You gotta say it louder. Yep.
Paul says, my tribal chief, it was not a betrayal. I paid back CM Punk a favor that I owed.
And Roman is like, Sacramento, I must be a little confused here. The way favors work is you usually pay it back yourself, correct? It feels like the only person getting screwed here in this whole favor is me. And if there's one thing you know about me, if there's one thing that you know about your tribal chief, we ain't never gonna ask for a favor. No. We take what we want. So I don't know a favor because I never asked for any help. I never asked for anybody to join me in War Games. Therefore, I never asked for this favor. So please, tell me how I'm supposed to cover the tab for your dumbass favor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seth shows up. Because Roman's being a jackass.
Sacramento, let's give it up for your tribal chief. Because after over a decade, you're finally getting it, man. You're finally starting to piece this together all by yourself. You're almost there. You're just missing one little piece. And it's a real shame. It's too little too late. Because I still got to the end. I still got to end you at WrestleMania. And it's for the same reason it's always been. Because it's the right thing to do. You see, the triple threat match at WrestleMania is the biggest, most important triple threat match in the history of WrestleMania. In the history of this company. In the history of this industry. Because the winner of this match will decide the future of our industry. No, it can't be you. Because if this business is filled with people like you, people that can't show up except for when it's convenient and everybody else to do all their dirty work, then this business dies.
2K25 part-time edition, everybody. Let's go. Woo!
And then you can't have CM Punk either. You're either starting to figure that out because this business is filled with little CM Punks running around who want to beat everybody that's going, who want to pick up their ball and go home when times get tough, only to come back and leech off the profits of other success. This business dies. Y'all want the business to die, do you? Well, I don't. Because if this business fails, with people like me who will sacrifice physical, mental well-being to always do what is the best for business, the business only lives. But it not only lives, but it thrives. But there can be only one, and it's gotta be me. And as for that one little piece that you haven't quite figured out yet, favors don't happen by choice, Roman. Favors are a choice. I chose to put Paul Heyman. If I chose not to put Paul Heyman in the hospital last week, and now Paul Heyman can choose whether or not he wants to pay the debt to me. But Wiseman is a dishonorable, and but your Wiseman is as dishonorable as they come. He is scumbag, and I accept nothing from him. Again, 100% right. Paul Heyman is not CM Punk. Is not in CM Punk's corner at WrestleMania by chance. Paul Heyman has made a choice. It's not just a betrayal, Roman. What you need to ask yourself, the final piece of this puzzle, it's not just returning a favor, it's choosing. You got to figure out why he is choosing CM Punk over you.
Yep. And then Roman looks at Paul and he says, he's right. You made your choice. And I've made mine. And then he beats the hell out of Seth Rollins. And for just a little bit, Paul Heyman's like, yeah, that was beautiful. And then Roman pushes Heyman to the ground. CM Punk comes running out. Where are we? And he says, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. That was great. You had me.
I don't think Roman. Oh, okay.
That's the commentators talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, CM Punk runs out to the ring.
Now Punk and Reigns are going at it.
Yeah.
And they're 5 nights away from WrestleMania. Paul Heyman and CM Punk are CM Punk in the corner. But then Rollins hits
Roman in the back with a steel chair.
And then everybody's like reliving the Shield moment.
Because I was even like the outfit he had on.
And that's what everybody has said.
Like literally
that was the replica of the outfit he wore in the Shield.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly, but it was you could see the similarities.
Yeah.
It was different, but it was the same. But then Rollins delivers a stomp to CM Punk. He delivers a stomp to Roman. Rollins is on a mission to save professional wrestling in his mind. Maybe the most dangerous Seth Rollins we've ever seen. And he's standing there with the steel chair and he's just glaring down at Paul Heyman. So
this match, I'm not going to say it got more interesting, because I don't think the match is necessarily going to be the interesting part. Paul is the interesting part.
Yeah.
He's the puzzle in this.
He's the missing piece.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to figure out where he falls when this is all done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, what piece does Paul play in the 3?
Mm-hmm.
But this is gonna take a little bit of time, because this, like I've said before, this is our final one until Monday
of next week, when we will go over SmackDown and the 2 nights of WrestleMania, because we simply will not have time on Saturday to go over.
Yeah, because
Stand
and Deliver technically starts at like 11 o'clock, which we will watch the pre-show, and then we still hopefully will miss only the pre-show of the first night of WrestleMania.
Yeah, because the pre-shows.
But we are going to miss the pre-shows, but we watch it every week, so we're not too worried about the pre-shows.
Yeah.
But it's literally going to be as soon as Tafari walks in the door. I say this, so don't take this literally. It is just being funny. He's going to literally shit, shower, shave, and we're starting.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no sitting watching YouTube videos for an hour or nothing. We are going straight in and trying to hopefully get ahead of the game.
Yeah. So I'd probably start that spaghetti before I even get home.
Oh, we're going to do spaghetti, because we can warm up spaghetti for like 3 nights.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
we're...
Yeah, schedule after Mania, we're going to be adding... We already said it before, but we're going to say it again. We're going to be doing NXT and TNA recap
on
Fridays at 3 p.m. Central Time.
And then SmackDown, we'll start talking about Evolve on Saturday with SmackDown. So, that's how our schedule is going to work. In Tafari will kind of re-edit it probably Sunday or so before he goes to bed. That way there's no confusion of like where we're going to be. But this is a little thing for any of you who maybe aren't watching LFG.
You should be.
This
So, yeah.
girl, Bailey Humphrey, might not be... She might not be the winner, but I'm telling you what.
She's gonna be on NXT.
She's coming.
Yeah.
And if
Just
y'all not watching this...
You know what? Just let it talk for itself.
That is just... Oh...
And that's the winner of the match. And you could even see, you know, Taker, Bubba, Devon, like, that was...
Yeah. This is her finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This is her finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before we went live, and I showed you guys that I wanted to play this, there was not even a hesitation in that.
Nope.
She like picked her up and like, boom!
You know,
And most of the time when you see them like kind of have to readjust, there was no readjusting.
No.
No.
She knew exactly her timing.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be... when she...
Yeah, it's
'Cause
not a
she
matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, because she's still learning. But when she gets to NXT...
She's going to the main roster. And I will tell you this,
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion,
In a heartbeat.
if you don't see her on NXT, and I'm saying, she's going to be on NXT, but I guarantee she's only going to be on NXT 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, come on.
Yeah.
Main roster, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see her.
She's going up against Jordan Grace at some point.
Oh my God. Then they could be tag team partners.
No.
Oh, God, that'd be dangerous.
Anyway, then we have Roman. He's whining and complaining.
Yeah, and again, like I said, this was before Raw, and we already watched it, and it's 2 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
I'll show you like the first like 10, 15 seconds of it.
Because you do have it on the sound, too.
Yeah, they should be able to hear it. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. I actually have to do this first, and then they can hear it. So let's start that over. 'Cause we're professionals, everybody.
Yeah, but he's talking basic about how he has lost everything, his wise man, blah, blah, blah. But...
No, you know what really gets to me? Where was it? This. Right here. Taught me diplomacy. You gotta think politically. Where is it? Hang on.
What are you talking about, his dad?
I try to help everybody. Most of them don't understand what a helping hand really looks like. What the fuck is he smoking? He didn't try to help anybody but himself. And I guess his family kind of, you know, they all had titles, blah, 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 blah. No. No, you didn't help anybody but yourself during your 3 years. 3 years as Universal Champion.
Exactly.
Don't come in here and act like you try to help a single fucking person except yourself. I know it's storyline. I know, you know, he helped them by having them fight, whatever. But character-wise, you're a selfish prick. Like I said, I know Roman Reigns is probably a great guy in real life. But we're talking about Roman Reigns, the character here. You are a selfish, egotistical prick. You didn't help anybody but yourself. Shut the hell up.
And then you have Paul after the show.
Yeah, on his private jet, and this is like...
23 seconds, I
yeah,
guess,
I mean,
something like
he basically just says, like, oh, it's WrestleMania week. It's supposed to be great, and...
I'm fighting for everything, and...
I guess I should. Yeah, they can hear it, so it's fine. But yeah, it basically just him whining and complaining. Oh no.
And then this is something I really want you guys to watch. If
Yeah.
anybody who's watching this, you need to watch it.
Yeah,
Because we're not going to play it. If we do, I'll just show you kind of a few seconds of it.
Yeah, we're not gonna show the whole
because
thing.
it is like 3.5 minutes long.
Yeah, like 2 minutes 41 seconds. So we're not gonna show the whole thing, but this is him after the match. He comes out. He says, well, that was fun. My first match, my first singles match since July of 2024. Yeah. First time on Netflix, and I lost. But it's all right because tomorrow I'm gonna wake up next to a naked Scarlett,
which. Fair fuck.
Yeah. And he said, another thing I'm happy about, no offense, is I finally saw a sliver of AJ Styles that we need at WrestleMania. And he goes on to say, AJ, I finally get why you're trying to be this great leader, do things the right way. It's because you're worried about what you did to Cody Rhodes, faking ending your career. Nobody cares. These people will get over it because they only crave violence. And this match at Mania.
Well, he goes too. He's like, you want to forget who you were. You never forget.
Yeah. We are the culmination of everything we've ever done in this life. Changing is not unbecoming somebody you were. You will always be that person. And this match at Mania, it's so much more than a match. It's to prove to everybody in this industry that all the fighting, the hard work that we've put in to get here means something. I spent 11 years of my life scratching and clawing to get to this. And you know what? If you lose at WrestleMania, maybe we should have all been YouTube stars instead.
And like I said, Cross needs a push.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not gonna push Cross, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you watch this and you're not following the real Killer Cross, which is his name on Discord, or not Discord, on Twitter,
X.
He is always posting little comments and how he thinks and how he sees things. And I'm going to tell you what, Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, all them men got crap, because I'm going to tell you what, and I've posted quite a bit. Cross is on the ball.
Oh yeah.
Cross is like, this is what's going on, and he's not giving you no BS.
Oh.
Exactly.
This is fact. Listen to the words I'm telling you.
Oh.
He is like the WWE preacher, and everybody is going.
Preach on.
Oh. It's like the voice of God trying to talk to you and carrying Cross when it comes to wrestling.
Yep, exactly.
Cross is on the ball.
Yep.
And unless that changes, I'm telling you all, Cross is the one to pay attention to. If you pay attention to nobody else on wrestling, pay attention to Cross.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Because, like I said, I know. I looked at the part we're at in our list. Okay, but pay attention to Cross. Like, follow Cross. Okay.
But next we have
Chelsea
Green. Let's pull this up full screen.
Chelsea Green's BS.
Yep. She says, hang on, let me pull it up. Chelsea Green says, somebody says, you need to investigate Joe Test too. He was a major distraction at ringside, incredibly unprofessional. And she responds, I always knew he was against me, but I didn't know what lengths he would go to see me lose. Horrific behavior, having my lawyer look into him as well. And then, she has her lawyers look into it. I have hired my legal team, Real Nick Aldis. And she has this whole appeal for decision. God, it's so tiny. Hang on, let me see if I can... To WWE management, please be advised, the Crucifino law firm has been retained to represent the legal interest of WWE superstar and current inaugural WWE Women's United States Championship, Mrs. Chelsea Green. Hereinafter, Mrs. Green is formally lodging an appeal regarding the outcome of the match dated 4/11/25, in which Mrs. Green was counted out under circumstances that can only be described as procedurally questionable and competitively unjust. It is our professional opinion that the officiating referee in said match executed the standard 10 count with undue haste, deviating from accepted WWE cadence norm and demonstrating a clear lack of rhythmic consistency, which is a clear violation of WWE officiating bylaw section 7 subsection C provision 4A, which explicitly states all in-ring counts must be delivered at a steady and impartial tempo reflective of standardized officiating pace guidelines. Accordingly, we demanded that an official review of the match footage be conducted and that immediate redeemable action be taken, including but not limited to a mandatory counting cadence retaining course for the referee in question, taught by Mrs. Green. Let this also serve as a preliminary warning should such discrepancies in officiating continue to jeopardize the competitive integrity of Mrs. Green's championship tenure. We will have no choice but to explore further legal remedies, including formal grievance filings and procedural injunctions. Please feel free to contact your lawyer regarding this letter. Sincerely, whatever the fuck that says, Luca Crisafino, Executive Managing Partner.
Esquire. It's lawyer thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Here's the thing.
I got lightheaded reading that.
Chelsea is... I love the character. And I've noticed a lot of this too. And again, I'm starting to really like Chelsea Green. And the reason I say I like Chelsea Green... no, hear me out a sec. You're laughing, but you're not listening. It's the same thing with like Karrion Kross. Because she is doing a lot of stuff that is like generally like good quality, like as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to get into political. I'm not trying to get into sex and who you're doing and whatever. But she is really big into this love is love type movement right now. The trans community, she's really supporting them. She's really supporting like the gay, the what am I trying to say?
LGBTQ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can never say it. I like lose letters and all that. Well, I'm glad you can come up with it pretty quick. But yeah, she's a big supporter in that. So I really I'm looking at what our next story, and I know it's probably not up on the screen, but it makes me laugh because it is absolutely gorgeous. But anyway,
we have this.
We need to understand, again, like we said before, these are characters.
Yeah.
But as much as I do love Chelsea Green's character, it is funny to see all this little...
Especially last week with her banging on the doors.
The character...
I don't care how beat up you are, I need you at ringside right now!
And the wine she gets in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hilarious. Like, and the thing is, and I know we're getting a little off track, but the thing is, watch the thing on Chelsea Green. Like, she literally was fired for no storyline, no creativity for her character. And it was her side. Like, they said she wasn't developing the character the way that they thought the character should have been developed. Blah, blah, blah. She couldn't handle it. I'm going to tell you what. All that aside, this character that she is playing, this whiny champion, Chelsea Green, she is 1,000% playing this character.
Oh yeah,
perfectly.
to the T.
Like, I absolutely love this character. I might not be like I'm a fan of the character,
but not a fan of the character.
Yeah, like I enjoy all the little bits and things in it, and I joke. But yet the same thing, I want her to be a great wrestler.
Oh yeah.
But the same thing, I absolutely love the character. Like, I want to cheer for Chelsea just because the character is absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. The whiny, like, I lost a match. Fine. I'm pressing charges. You know, like with the Naomi and the booty thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, I love it that she is trying to keep pushing that boundary that I lost because of X. Mm-hmm. So we need to reverse that. So I didn't technically lose. I'm waiting for the day she loses the title. Because that's gonna be a train wreck.
She's gonna send out 15 requests for the decision to be repealed because of X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
The lighting wasn't right. She was blinded.
It's gonna be the ref count was off.
Yeah, you know
the cadence.
Yeah, the ropes were extra slippery that day. Somebody had oiled them up purposely to sabotage her.
Yeah, it's gonna be a train wreck, and it's gonna be beautiful the day that it happens.
Speaking of a beautiful train wreck, let's just get straight to it. We have a little R-Truth comment for y'all. It's R-Truth saying, "Hey, you look awfully familiar." Elgond is like, "I'm not Chad Gable," and he's like, "I know it's you in there, John Cena."
And the thing is, like I said when I showed you this, Truth
is a beautiful disaster. I can 100% see him doing this.
And we all know it's no way it's John Cena. We all know it's Chad Gable. But here's the funny thing, okay? Again, going back to when Truth first showed up on SmackDown.
Like, Monday Night Raw!
And goes up to Priest and is like, "You're on Raw. Did you see Adam Pearce? He's got hair.
And he has a British accent now. So distinguished."
And it's like, and Priest is like, "Truth, never mind."
You're an idiot.
Like, never. Or with the Cody Rhodes thing. I mean, Truth, I miss Truth when he's not on there. Truth is absolutely gorgeous. As a character, Truth is such a bar. Mm-hmm. And anyway, I don't know if we're gonna, because that's probably a full-blown article, and if it's the same article, I'm thinking that I already kind of went through.
Yeah, well, we'll just talk about it then. We don't even need to really pull this up, but there was a scrapped pitch for a Joe Hendry storyline on the main roster against The Miz, but as far as I remember, TNA declined it because they wanted Joe Hendry to lose to The Miz, which I don't know who the fuck was writing that, but they were dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Do you think The Miz is gonna beat Wrestling Jesus? That's just not happening.
And you know what? The thing is, if you don't watch TNA, you need to watch TNA because
Exactly.
I didn't notice it. Tafari was actually the one that noticed it.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of like, okay, yeah, it's a great entrance. But his entrance is like what? Say his name and he
appears. You know,
and
I believe in Joe Hendry. It's like, oh, Wrestling Jesus, okay.
And Kyle's like, are they referring to him as, or Tafari's like, are they referring to him as Jesus? I was like, you know what?
To each their own.
I think you're right.
I think that's what they're going for. He's Wrestling Jesus.
So that's what, at least in the three of us, whenever we talk about Joe Hendry, so in future, if we say Wrestling Jesus,
we're talking about Joe Hendry.
We're talking about Joe Hendry, because that is Wrestling Jesus. If Jesus was a wrestler, he'd be Joe Hendry.
No.
Oh, yeah.
But this is really nice. That's the next... I skipped ahead, but it's...
We'll go back.
Yeah. Randy Orton shares that he would love to sign another 5-year contract with WWE when his current contract expires. He signed a 5-year deal in 2024, that will take him up to the age of 49, and if all goes well, he'd be wrestling until 54 and would end up having a career span of 34 years with the company.
I would love that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, here's the thing. He might be, what is it, 46 now? But he's still in prime, not prime, obviously, but he's still a phenomenal wrestler. He can still do all the things that he needs to do to be a great wrestler. And if his body is willing and he can keep up for the next 10 years, I'd love to see it.
Yeah. And you know what? I've always said this. Orton is so much better when he is a heel. Mm-hmm. When he is a heel, I don't get me wrong. I love Randy Orton regardless. I love the character. I think he is probably one of the most talented on on the roster, period. But in the same breath, when he is a heel, he is pitch perfect.
I'm just trying to find it. Of course, it's the last one.
But another thing too, and I do not know who this guy is. I've never heard of this guy. But he is big talk all over social media, wrestling.
I think this is New Japan World. Is that right?
Yeah, it's New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced Jeff Cobb's departure from the promotion at his request. This comes after recent reports there has been contract talks between Cobb, a free agent, and WWE.
Supposedly he has officially signed with WWE.
He looks like a big burly dude. So
he is. They're comparing him to like a Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, like the big guy.
Yeah. Like big, tough, mean as hell.
Yeah. The Jacob Batu's, that kind of guy. Now we can pull up the one. No, not that one. Yeah, okay, that's the first one.
Yeah.
It was the other ones later. I was switching ahead.
But yeah, Triple H is talking on the Flagrant podcast, and he says, the internet is not real life, and the bitching and the fucking complaining is on there is not real life. You could read the internet, and it'll sound like this thing is dead. I'll use Cody as an example. Cody's already jumped the shark. He's dead as a babyface. He goes, really? I don't know. I'm in an arena with 10 to 15,000 people every night going apeshit for me, selling the most merchandise. But sure, whatever you want to say on the internet, that's the golden rule. It's just the opinion of a few people.
And again, I said this to these two, and I'll bring this up again. I think he's right, but I think the wording is wrong. And here's why I say I think he's right, but the wording is wrong. The people who are watching wrestling, okay, and a lot of the people that I watch and the people I pay attention to, none of them are complaining. It's the ones who aren't watching wrestling consistently.
Yeah.
Or it's the people, and I know this sounds so bad, and I don't want to say it because I don't really have any, stock in it. But it's the ones of, AEW. It's,
What? What? Come here. Come here.
There's no way.
You just went out. You were fine.
He's being ignored.
Yeah.
But I think that this has to do more with him just trying to be like, look, guys, not everything you hear, see, read on the internet is real. And I say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to call, again, I didn't watch, but I looked at the, what's the word I'm looking for? I used the right term last night when I was talking to Danger. Clickbait.
Yeah.
There is a guy who does the same stuff that Wrestling Days and Ango and some of the other ones I watch. He does the same stuff, but I'm going to tell you what. 99% of his stuff is bull.
Mm-hmm.
He's fake, and if I ever find a way to contact him directly, because he has been on podcasts and has been a complete and total douchebag to people, let him get on something I'm on, and I will tear him apart, because he's got millions of viewers and everything, and he brags about how he is the greatest, he is the best, he is the most awesome one. All he does is report the news that he hears, but 99%... Here's the thing. He has no filter. Okay? He's not checking the stories. He's just reporting stories.
Mm-hmm. Whether or not they're real or just complete BS he found on the side of the road.
Yeah.
No.
And that's where I have a problem with it. He has posted that, Jon Moxley is coming to WWE. It'll be on his tagline, on his clickbait tag.
No.
and then he'll get to the story and be like, that's just the news, and, you know, he has said there's no report of him coming ever. It's like, so then why clickbait?
Why is it in the thumbnail? So you can
Or,
clicks.
you know, I think the one I clicked on last night was WWE wrestler murders family minutes before Raw goes on the air. Which, again, is clickbait because it actually refers to, it was, I think it's this month, is that, I don't know if you want to call it an anniversary, but
Of
the Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And I'm not saying that people don't care, because I do care, but yet, to use that as clickbait
Is terrible, yeah.
it means you're a douchebag. And if you find out who I'm talking about and you watch him, please don't watch my stuff, because I actually talk about stuff that I can back up.
Yeah.
He doesn't. But anyway, enough of that.
WWE has confirmed that they are going to Perth, South America, and Mexico sometime this year or next year, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
we don't have official dates, but they say they are coming to those.
What the fuck is Perth? I'm terrible.
South America?
I feel like that would be Australia.
Yeah,
So-
okay.
So just say they said South America. I don't think they'd say.
What? Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I think didn't they go. to Australia?
They were in Perth for a pay-per-view last year, the year before.
Was it Perth? Because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because Bronson Reed was supposed to be there.
I thought they went to Australia like just a few months ago, didn't they? Or am I crazy?
They might have.
I'm pretty sure they went to Sydney. Yeah, they went to Sydney, Australia. I think.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they were in Australia sometime this year, but.
Another thing is,
Yeah, we have new dates confirmed for Raw after 10 editions of Raw and SmackDown are seen across the U.S. and Canada this summer. One date that really stands out, July 5th in Providence, Rhode Island, just a short drive from Connecticut, where the rumored WWE Evolution event is said to be going on July 5th.
so yeah, we're not going to sit here unless you want to go through the whole entire list, but there's a whole list from Monday, July 7th to August 15th.
But yeah, Monday we'll be on Rhode Island's. Friday you can sit here and watch them or look through them,
Or pause
it, or just go on Twitter and look at them. But
or our Discord.
yeah, because it's on there as well. But it's nice to know that they've already. I mean, it makes sense. They probably have.
Oh yeah,
things
but
planned out like
it's
6
just
months in
you
advance.
know. Basically, I don't live in anywhere near where these places are.
But if you do,
hey, be ready to get your tickets, whatever. You know, if that's something you want to do.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. And then we have. Oh right, we have the full WrestleMania shows. Where? Yeah.
We can do that one.
We have Roman, Seth, and CM Punk as the main event. We have Jey Uso versus Gunther. We have Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. We have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. And the War Raiders versus the Boo Day for night 1. And night 2, we have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena as the main event. We have Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the World's Women's Heavyweight Championship. We have Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. We have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For the women's tag team titles, we have AJ Styles versus a shit stain on the human race. And then for the Intercontinental Championship, we have Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Braun Breaker versus Penta.
Which again, there is another match that will be probably on night 2, probably be discussed on night 1, but it'll probably be booked for night 2 because there is 6
matches.
Matches, and they're probably going to try to have 7-7.
Yeah.
and that'll be the Randy Orton, whoever he is facing. Which the leading one, everybody is saying is Solo. Then Nick Aldis. Then it kind of goes from there.
Just random speculations.
Yeah, you got
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry's involved in there. There's Aleister Black involved in there. There's Rusev involved in it.
And then we have the
complete rundown of WrestleMania week.
Raw on Netflix, Monday, April 14th, 8 p.m.
yesterday.
Eastern. Yeah. NXT Tuesday tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We have the WrestleMania kickoff on Friday, April 18th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. SmackDown, Friday, April 18th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Hall of Fame ceremony at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Pacific. NXT Stand and Deliver, Saturday, April 19th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then the countdown... Oh, God, what the fuck was that? I didn't mean to do that. We have the countdown to WrestleMania on Saturday, April 19th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. WrestleMania Saturday, April 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And then we have the 2024 Slammy Awards, Sunday, April 20th. We don't know the time, because I guess they're just going to throw it up on YouTube. We have the Countdown to WrestleMania, Sunday, April 20th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. WrestleMania Sunday, April 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Raw After Mania, Monday, April 21st, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then we have NXT on the following Tuesday, April 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then the SmackDown After Mania, Friday, April 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
And again, like I said, the NXT, that will be the first one we will actually start covering on Never Game Alone. So.
And then we have a few stars that are said to be on the WWE Raw after WrestleMania. The stars we currently have announced are John Cena, obviously, Gunther, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Jey Uso, Lyra Valkyria. And I'm not going to lie, this has me worried. Because Io Sky's not on here. And
well, neither is
Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, does this mean Rhea Ripley wins?
Or does it mean she doesn't win and she's bitching?
Possibly. But then again, I feel like usually the Raw after Mania.
Okay, but if we're going down that road, and again, I'm not trying to say you're wrong. You're allowed your own opinion. You've got Gunther and Jay.
That's true. And I guess Cody's not on here either. So, I don't know. Only time will tell, though. But unless you have anything else to go over, we are done.
I do not think I do.
All right. We are just at an hour and a half.
But again, like I've said before, like we have said, we will be back
Monday of next week.
Yeah.
To go over SmackDown.
Now, we still are doing tomorrow and Thursday our random games. But we are not going to be discussing wrestling where we normally do, or we're froze. Hopefully we're not froze.
No, that's just us, because our internet's crap. Okay. And if we are, then we have like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be on Monday of next week to discuss SmackDown and the 2 nights of WrestleMania, because like I said, we simply will not have time on Saturday, unfortunately.
But then again, you do have to remember that next week, starting Thursday or Friday, we'll do our
NXT and TNA, and then we will be covering Evolved with SmackDown on Saturday, like we normally do.
But yeah, we don't cover Evolve. But like I said, we have decided that we think between the three of us that we know enough of the dynamics of what's going on, the storyline, to give you a good interpretation of how we feel about the current storyline.
Yeah.
And that's why we kind of want to do it after, like, the big event. And Stand and Deliver is kind of their
WrestleMania.
Their WrestleMania for TNA is kind of still in the middle of some of theirs. I think theirs Sacrifice? Is it Sacrifice?
I think so.
It's coming up
No.
like next month or whatever.
I thought we had Sacrifice already. Didn't we? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But we're gonna go ahead because we've been watching it just as long. We think we're comfortable.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about it, but their pay-per-view is technically like $40, which we are going to figure out how to pay that somewhere if we all have to throw in some money.
Yeah.
But we are going to watch it. I do believe theirs is actually on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not going to cover it on Monday because we could technically cover it on Monday. But it's all the matter of
How we feel like doing.
We'll figure it out by then.
Well,
I'll let you all know. We might just go ahead and cover it with the other stuff. I think that wind up being the easiest because you do have your D&D on Sundays.
that's true. But we'll figure it out when we get to that point. But aside from that, we ain't got much else. If you made it this far on the stream, go ahead and give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want to chat with us about wrestling or comic books or anything really, we can talk about anything. Go ahead and join our Discord server. If you want to help support us, go ahead and press that big red donate button. But aside from
Rasta
but that's what words are hard.
Come on, Tafari.
Shut up. That's about it from us, guys. I'm Telfari.
I'm CK.
And I'm Knight Rider. Have a good night.
See ya!